You are live.
All right. Can you see my screen, Chrissy? It's the
I see the Snake River MLS.
Perfect. That's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so today we're going to go ahead and learn a little bit about Form Simplicity. Form Simplicity is, well, the program to where you can access all of your forms or your real estate documents. An easy way to get into Form Simplicity to where you don't have to know your password or username for it is you come into the Snake River MLS, and right here we're at our home screen. Come on over here to search.
Okay.
Once you're at the search tab, you'll see over here it says external links. So you got Form Simplicity and then you got Instinet. Right now we're going to focus on Form Simplicity. Those are just two different programs you can use to access your real estate forms.
I'm going to say, sorry, for Taylor, because she's part of Paragon. It's the same thing though. On your home screen, when you first log into Paragon, Taylor, you will see a link that says Form Simplicity on the homepage. And I can show you in person next time if you can't find it. But it's the same exact thing. It just takes you right to Form Simplicity from the MLS. I
can go on to Paragon real quick and we can.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, we can do that real quick.
Thank you.
Using your login. Sure.
I don't log in, so whatever I texted. Oh, perfect. It's already saved. Okay, yeah. So if you scroll, see the Paragon 5 links right on this black part right here.
Yep.
Scroll down. Oh, wait. Form Simplicity is at the top. It's in blue. I'm sorry.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right here. So.
Same exact thing then.
Just click on it and it's an external link. It'll pop up this. And so this is just an important notification. I don't know if it's really important, but on this specific case, it is. It's letting you know that some of the forms that you'll be using have been updated. I would highly recommend clicking on this hyperlink here and checking it out. It's going to go over the RE 18, 20, 21, 22, and RE 50, I believe it is. Oh, and the RE 16. So it's going to go over those forms. Those are going to be some updates on it, and highly recommend just looking into it. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and click out. So here's my main page on Form Simplicity. You can kind of come in here and see that, here's all my files from some of the clients that I've had. 613 Sykes was a closing in summer. This one was a closing right after that, and so on and so forth. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and act as if it's a brand new client. We're going to be signing like a buyer's rep today, along with purchase and sale. Well, maybe. Anyway, we're going to click on it. It's going to ask you for information regarding the transaction. So let's just say we'll go ahead and just put this address here, for instance. We can have a transaction name. So, you can put your client's name, or you can go ahead and have just the street address as the transaction name. And it's up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and say Kelly. How do I spell your name, Kamek? There we go.
It's
I did.
CAMMACK.
Oh, shoot. There we go.
It's okay.
Boom. There we go. Perfect. Property type. So this is going to be if it's a house, commercial, farm and ranch, or vacant land. Today we're just going to, that's a house address. So, and then transaction type, it's going to ask you pretty much, are you the listing agent? Are you helping the buyer? Are you doing both? Or is it a lease or rental? For this instance, we're going to go ahead and do a purchase. Okay. And we're just going to hit create. Before I hit create, I'll kind of go over this. These are file packets that you can go ahead and create in Form Simplicity. I won't necessarily get into that today, but you can create like a package, when you're not setting up a new transaction, and you can add specific forms for different transactions. So like new buyer with lead-based paint. This is a new buyer without lead-based paint, seller test, lead-based paint, and then single family listing. Those are just my references, so I kind of know if I wanted to go ahead and click on it, I could. For this instance, though, I'm just going to hit create transaction. So now I am in my file on Form Simplicity. So if this is where I'm going to access all of my forms. This is going to be where I do my e-signs, everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead. Kelly's a brand new client. We're going to go ahead and make a purchase on that 4422 Bobbin Brook. I'm going to come right here to add blank forms. And this little pop down is going to pop up. Go to all libraries. And then here is all the real estate forms that you have access to. So you'll see you got the agency disclosure, lead-based paint disclosure, inspection contingency, an addendum, so on and so forth. So for this one, Kelly's a buyer. Let's see, it's not lead-based paint. It wasn't built prior to 1978, so I don't have to worry about that. Let's see, I'm gonna make her sign a buyer's rep. And we're gonna go ahead and do an RE21. So I don't believe there's anything else that I need as of right now. We'll hit add transaction or add forms. So now I can go in here. Now the forms are added to this file. I can click on each form and go in and, you know, put wording in it if I wanted to, or if I needed to. So for like this case, the name of the brokerage, and then our phone number. This is going to be the broker phone number. So 497-0067. If you're in Idaho Falls, I don't know the office number for Pocatello. So once you fill that out, go ahead and hit
the
save.
Idaho Falls one.
Okay, perfect. You would go ahead and hit save, and then that's all you have to do on the blue brochure. Go ahead and click close, and you're good to go there. Now I'm going to have Kelly go ahead and fill out a buyer's rep as well, and I'll go through this fairly quick. So stop me if you have any questions. CHNTZLER. Okay, it's a residential property. I'm gonna go ahead and do Bonneville. This is just an autofill that always pops up for me. We're gonna go ahead and do from today until the end of the year. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll through this. I'm more than happy to go ahead and do a one-on-one session with you if you want help kind of filling out the buyer's rep later on. So just let me know. Or unless Kelly wants me to go over that now, you tell me.
No, I think for this session, let's just focus on how do you put the initials in? How do you actually get your people to sign it? Because there's so much that goes on in each of these contracts that you really do need more of a one-on-one or a longer session for these. So just work. This is how you get it to your client to sign.
Perfect. So I'm just going to fill this out. Let's see. Nothing there. Address, boom, hit save. This is going to be an awful buyer's rep, Kelly, but you know, that's what you get for, well, shoot, I should be talking myself up. Oh, well.
I think it's important though to note that it's good to just do the most important things. Like you don't have to put your client's address and email and phone number. It's really just that their name is on there and like their signature.
Yeah. I normally won't go ahead and put my client's information on the purchase and sale, but I'll go ahead and put their information on the buyer's rep because that's not going to go to the other party.
So hold on the ID number. This was something that I was so confused on when I was a new agent. Like, how do you know what to name it? And really you can put the ID as anything that you want. For example, I know a lot of people put the date and then the name of the initials of the client. I usually just put Kamek and then the house numbers. So, you know, if it was 4482 Bobbinbrook or whatever it was, I'd put Kamek 4482.
So I used to do that. I used to put my initials because that's kind of what you and I both learned over at Keller Williams. I've since changed, and what I've started to do is I'll put the last four of the MLS number, I'll put a dash, and then I'll put the date. So, you know, say this one is the last four of the MLS is 1234, and then today is 11/11. I'll do that. So the reason I do it that way is because on any addendum, inspection contingency, anything like that, it's going to want the, in some cases, the ID number or the MLS number, as well as the date the offer was written out. So I don't have to go back through my purchase and sale and try to figure out, okay, when did I write this up? I already know it based off that ID number. so I can just pre-fill in more information without having to stop what I'm doing. It's a little bit quicker to get through everything.
So, and then on that listing and selling agency one, so whoever is the listing agent is going to go obviously under listing agency. And if you're pretending that you're the buyer's agent, then you're going to be the one that's under selling agency, right?
Yep. So let's do this. So you're going to go ahead and represent the sale on my house.
So she's the buyer's agent?
Yeah. And we do actually have the same last name. So.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice that.
We're not related, so it's okay. So you come in here, you go ahead and put the address. This is the city, so it's in Idaho Falls. Bonneville, 83401. Legal description, I won't even know, but I do know the sub. I know the subdivision, so I should.
So you can find the legal description on the MLS, or you can find it, I know in Bannock County, you can find it on Bannock County Parcel Viewer.
So here, can you still see my screen?
Yeah.
So now we're on the MLS. So I'll just go ahead and show you quick kind of where we're at. So go through real quick. So here's the closed transaction, legal description right here. So I don't necessarily think you should copy it from the MLS, or yeah, from the MLS listing, but for this sake, I'm going to say we're going to do it. If you can get it off a warranty deed, that's going to be your most accurate. And Chris will even emphasize on that. So we're going to go ahead and put the price for $500,000, Kelly.
Nice.
Not contingent. We're going to do $1,500 of earnest money here, and so on and so forth. We're going to
miss a box.
Do you want me to fill it all out? I'm more than happy to.
Just click held by. It's going to bug me. Thank you.
Better? Okay.
So really just for the sake of Taylor and Chrissy, you just want to go through and all the blanks, fill them out, make sure you're not missing any check boxes. It is quite time consuming. So Austin, you don't have to do this part, but you want to go real slow on this, especially for your first few transactions, and call one of us, before you send it to your client so we can look at it and make sure it looks good. That part was always confusing, that D, that how much do I put in there? Because you have to subtract the purchase or the down payment from the purchase price, because that's the loan amount that the buyer is getting, right? Because you're putting what is their first loan amount going to be, and is it FHA, VA, all that.
So for this instance, we're just going to act as if it's a conventional loans, and they're putting down the general 5%. So 5% of 500,000 is 25. So the loan amount is actually going to be 475. Okay. And you'll get all this information from your lender, and you'll be able to fill it out properly. If you have any questions whatsoever, though, when it comes to filling out an offer, do not try to do it yourself. Like Kelly said, call one of us, call me. I've sat with agents at 10 o'clock at night over the phone for an hour, walking them through how to go ahead and fill out an offer.
Okay.
So here, sometimes the property address will bring down and go on to the other pages. In this case, it's not. So, and then here it's going to show the approximate funds due at closing. So minus the earnest money that they already put down. Okay. Paragraph 4 is actually a brand new paragraph they just introduced at the end of October. It's just the satisfaction or removal of all contingencies. That includes the financing contingency. We didn't have that in our offer or our contracts for the longest time. The financing contingency would go all the way to the day of closing. So in this case, it's stating that, within five days, if left blank prior to the stated closing date, all of the contingencies are going to be removed. Okay. And the videos that I pointed out at the very beginning, this will go into depth for it. For this case, we're just going to go ahead and continue on forward. So if there's other terms and conditions, you put it there. we're going to go ahead and put, there you go. Obviously, don't fill out this. Okay. So now that address is brought down onto page 3 since I filled it up on page 2. This is the title commitment. I tell every agent that I talk to when they fill out an offer, just because it states, you know, if left blank, 6 business or 6 days are going to be put in here, put something in it. It not only does it show that you know what you're doing, but it really, it'll keep you from making a mistake. I just had an offer actually just the other day come through. They left the inspection portion blank, and I'll show it. They left this portion blank. And so it was an automatic 5 days for them to get an inspection. I was representing the seller, and the agent didn't realize that she left it blank, and they responded on day 6. So they gave us something on day 6, and we didn't have to do any fixes on it. The buyer ended up terminating, and we kept the earnest money. That could have definitely been avoided had the agent been used to going through and filling out all these blanks here. Okay. So it's a little bit more time consuming, but again, it's going to protect you. It's going to protect your buyer, and it's just going to show that you're doing your job correctly. When I'm representing a seller and I get an offer, and I get an offer from a buyer's agent and it's not all filled out, they just slapped it together. How is this agent going to be when we're actually going through the deal? Okay. This portion down here on paragraph 19, this can always be a little bit confusing for agents. I've got a cheat sheet that I'm more than happy to share with everybody on it. I got it when I was on a team, because to this day, had I not had that, I still wouldn't know how to fill this out. But I've done enough.
This is for Taylor. Yesterday we were having our mastermind, and Laura Weiser called this the tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. But yeah, this is where you'd go ahead and put in a home warranty and so on and so forth. So I'll go ahead and pay for your home warranty, Kelly. I'm not paying for any closing costs. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So occupancy's actually changed. It was on the bottom of page 5. Now it's on the top of page 6. So that one always gets missed. I would just be sure, go through your offers a couple times before you send it to your clients. Nothing's worse than when you're ready to send it to your client, you're attaching all the signatures and you realize, crap, I forgot to check mark a box. Then you got to exit out of it all and start all over.
No.
Yeah. So I'm close on the 23rd. Upon closing. Nope. Yep. It's today, the 11th. I'm gonna have till tomorrow. Okay. Now we're all done. We filled out a good majority of the offer. Go ahead and put your buyer's name right there. Don't put their phone number, email, or address. Keep all that blank. Once the offer is all filled out, go ahead and hit save. You'll hit close. And now we've got all these filled out. Okay. Now I'm going to want to go ahead and e-sign everything, send it off to my client. I'm going to go ahead and check mark all these right here. Let's actually upload the property disclosure. So we're going to click on here, click here to browse files. I'll go in. You know what? Let's just do this. This is going to be a different one. Oh, shit. Cancel. Come on.
So what you'll want to do here is go to the MLS and find where the disclosures are kept and just download them onto your desktop or keep it in a folder if you're really organized. And then you can upload it to Form Simplicity this way. And Taylor, I can show you where they're at on Paragon, but it's very similar. You just find the little icon that says D for disclosures, and then you just save it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I found out that like just the other day, actually, on Paragon. I don't know how to work Paragon that well.
Yeah, Navica and Paragon are both very different. And if you will find out being with our brokerage for even a very small amount of time that Elias really is wanting to push for one MLS across the entire state of Idaho, because it's so confusing to go back and forth and have all these different places you have to join and pay for if you want to show a house in Idaho Falls versus Pocatello versus Boise. So that is one good reason why we would want one MLS, because then it's all, everybody understands how to use the same system.
So Chrissy, did you see how I got that seller property disclosure off the MLS?
No.
No worries. So I went in onto the MLS. Up here, you've got all your different tabs in this little paper form. That's where all your documents are going to be.
Right.
You go ahead and click on it, and it's going to pull up any documents that's the listing agent has put on the transaction. So I just clicked on it. I downloaded the seller property disclosure, and it was in my documents on my computer. And then I went ahead and uploaded it into Form Simplicity.
Okay.
So that's how you go ahead and get that uploaded into it. And it's down here in the files portion. So now I'm going to send the offer off to Kelly. She's going to sign it, and we're going to go under contract. So check mark all these right here. We're going to go ahead and e-sign, click create new session. It's going to take just a couple seconds, maybe a minute, before it goes into the actual system.
So fun fact, there's two different systems you can use for the e-signing. Form Simplicity is the most used and probably the most user-friendly. There's another older one that's called Transaction Desk or Instanet. And that's actually the one I use because that's what I learned on, and I just haven't forced myself to use Form Simplicity yet. But this is just one of the systems that you can use to sign e-documents.
Yep. So it's funny, when I got into real estate, they were going to get rid of Instanet. That was the big thing. Like, they were going to get rid of it. And so my broker told me, just learn Form Simplicity, don't learn Instanet. And so I did. And then then we had all these old time agents that decided that were throwing a fit. And so they ended up not getting rid of Instanet. And I just haven't cared to learn it since. So now right here, we are actually in the signing portion of it all. So you can put the subject title. So like offer 4422 and type everything out. Obviously don't put that, but that's just for us and Kelly's.
Yeah.
So what's cool about here is the CC email. So I always put myself in there just to be safe. And then I can go ahead and add another agent on here if I wanted to. So if I wasn't sending off the buyer's rep, I would add in, whoever the listing agent is or whoever. Yeah. I would add in a listing agent on this. So it just automatically gets sent to them after my client signs the offer. So if you have more than one signer, I always click and send all signers at once. I don't want to send it to the wife first, and then the wife doesn't get off till 5, the husband's off work at 12, and so on and so forth. I want them to be able to go in whenever they have free time. Whoever gets there first, sign it. So send all signers. Since this does have a buyer's rep on it, I want to include me as a signer.
And if you have a lead-based paint, you have to sign it as well. But we don't for this one.
Yep. And then I do this. I will go ahead and click this button. It just says send the CC email as an attachment. That way I don't have to click in anything. I can just download everything I need. Okay. That is valid.
It is valid.
There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now you're not going to have anybody in your address book. You're not going to have anyone. So you're going to want to just go ahead and click add signer here. Kelly, I don't even think I have you in here.
Yeah, I'll tell you my email.
What is it?
Kelly dot real REAL dot marketing @gmail.com.
Okay. So I can go ahead and add, you know, authentication if I want to. I never do. It's just a hassle. So I'm not going to click anything there. Signing in person is, you know, say you went and looked at the house, they came back to your office and you're filling all this out with them sitting right across from you. You can actually hit the signing in person bubble and it'll go ahead and instead of sending it to them, it'll send them like a text message and they'll be able to go ahead and do it here. So for this instance, we're just going to hit save. So, okay, now I've got me as a signer and Kelly as a signer. We're going to hit next, and then it's going to have you assign it. So Kelly's obviously the buyer. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm the buyer's agent and hit next. There are signing locations that have not been assigned to a signer. Would you like to continue and remove these signing locations from the template? Yes. Okay. So I'm very particular about the order that all these are in. So, I mean, obviously you want to have the disclosure brochure, the first one, because they're supposed to sign it at the first substantial business meeting. Then you have your buyer's rep. And then here we have our offer and then our seller property disclosure. I always put the offer at the very last, unless there's an addendum after the offer. Okay. So now all those are organized and I can go ahead and hit next here. Now it brings up the documents that I filled out. And what's nice is that a lot of if you fill out like the disclosure brochure, the buyer's rep and the purchase and sale, it's going to automatically put the signatures where it needs to. So you can see Kelly's already going to have to sign there. And then she's also going to have to sign there and so on and so forth. Here it's going to have, you know, 2 spots. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and that and this little bubble there for some reason. Because, you know, we've already had that discussion about single agency and limited dual. She's decided she's going to go after limited dual. So she'll just have to sign there. If you don't get rid of that on single agency, she's going to end up signing both and you'll have to redo it anyway. So again, take this time, go through it slowly and make sure that you filled out the offer correctly. Okay. So now she's going to sign there. I'm going to sign here. And then we're going to go on to the property disclosure. If you download a document from the MLS and upload it into Form Simplicity, it won't assign signatures anywhere. So you'll have to go ahead and manually come in here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Kelly and I'm going to attach the signature or the initial where I need to. Okay. And we're going to keep going down and just dragging and dropping. I will say this is a lot easier when you have a mouse compared to just a pad. I don't know what you want to call it. So, okay. And then right here, you'll see it says date and time, but technically I only need the date. If you click this gear icon and you come up here, you can come down and say, you know, I only want the date, and then I hit save. Okay. So then you'll see it's just asking for the date. And I go through and I do this to every single one of them. Some agents do, some agents don't. It just depends on who you are. For this sake, I'm going to do just those 2. And then again, we have our offer and the signatures are already where they need to be. So take this time, go through your offer, make sure you fill it out correctly. You know, say Kelly does have a house that she needs to sell before she can close on this house. Well, I just made a mistake because I was going through and filling it out too quick and I can't make this change here. So you have to exit out of this and go in and make that change on the purchase and sale. Does that make sense, Chrissy?
Yeah.
Okay. So same thing here. Just go through, make sure that they're in the right locations. I have had it to where like these signing spots are right here in the middle of this paragraph. So you'll have to drag it and drop it. Sometimes I've only had that happen probably twice, but take this time slowly, go through it, make sure they're in the correct spot. Make sure you didn't forget anything, and then we're good there. So it's got the buyer's signature, date, and time. I get rid of these little purple ones.
but you don't have to. Once that's all done, you go ahead and hit next. It's going to have you go through, give you the chance to go ahead and review it again to make sure that, you know, everything's in the right spot again. It's up to you if you want to go through it. You'll hit next one more time. And then it's going to go ahead and put you to, you know, this is what Kelly's going to see when she logs in to sign it. Sign this off or don't look at it, just sign it.
And I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on my end too.
Perfect. So I'm going to hit finish. I'm going to go ahead. It'll ask me, since I'm a signer, do I want to sign now or later? I'll go ahead and sign now just for purposes sake.
Ooh, I just got the email.
Perfect. Don't go into it yet. So this is where, you know, they're going to say, you know, please review and make any corrections to your middle name. If it's wrong, they can go in and fill it out. They can choose a signature or they can draw their own. I've never seen somebody draw their own signature that looked eligible.
I know.
So really, I mean, it doesn't matter, but if they want, they're welcome to. Oh, gosh, I'm getting calls. So now we're in the signing portion of it. You just hit start. It'll go ahead and go down to where you need to sign it. You hit the highlight, hit next, hit it again. And then I hit next again. It'll say, would you like to complete your signing session? You hit yes, and it's done. So me as the agent, I've finished signing. Now Kelly can go ahead and take over from here. And do I just hit stop sharing?
I'll just take it over.
Perfect, go ahead.
I think
Looks a lot like DocuSign, so.
Yeah.
Can you guys see my email?
Yep.
Great. Okay. So this is what it looks like on your client's end. Sign this offer. Don't look at it. Just sign it. Legit. So I click review and sign. It's going to look a lot like what Austin's just looked like. So Kelly Kamek. Just take out the extra space.
Same initials.
Yep. KC. Chrissy Clark. Okay, I agree. Start. Got it. Start. Oh my gosh, I'm too impatient for this.
Isn't there a sign all one like there is on DocuSign? Or do you have to go?
I don't know.
Maybe we should have just done one form. My bad.
Good, it's thorough. Go.
There we go.
My friends were married on 11/11, so it's their anniversary.
Nice.
Yeah, such a good date. Looks like I'm buying a $500,000 house that you actually sold for 300. So I think I'm getting ripped off.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Well, it's probably about $50,000 over what it's actually worth now.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Because I had it appraised in April and it came in at 455.
455.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought it for
300?
300.
Good Lord.
What? That's nice.
Good for them. So usually I try to send in my email, like where he said, don't look at this, just click and sign. I usually say, let me know if you have any questions, just continue to hit next until you complete the signing. Call me if you have a question about a certain section.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to complete my signing.
Done.
We'll say, okay.
Okay, and then I'll go back to mine here. That's all right.
Yeah, please take it back over.
You stop. Let's just stop. Okay,
Then you can show her what it looks like.
And then does it send you a copy of the signed one?
Yeah, so here now we'll go into my email. You can see my Form Simplicity screen.
Yeah.
So you can see like, here's the signing invite. And then it tells me, you know, hey, I viewed the offer, I signed it. So, and then Kelly's viewed the offer, she signed it.
And then here in just a slow minute, there it is. It just popped up on my phone. There you go. It says signing complete. I can click here and download the documents if I want to. It'll take me to this portion. I can download all the docs. Or since I filled out the, that portion that said send the final email as the attached documents as a CC email, I've got all the documents right here. I don't have to click on this download documents. They're all right here at the bottom. So I can click download all of them, and then I can send it to the buyer's agent if I wanted to.
You mean seller's agent? So
Yes,
I also got that email. So the party who's signing is going to have a document of everything that they've signed, which is required by law. So it's just nice to have that done already for us by Form Simplicity. So you're kind of covered, like, well, you were emailed the final thing, you were able to see what you signed. So so I'm thinking, thank you, Austin, that was great.
You're welcome.
I'm thinking that the homework for this next week should be to have them fill out an offer as if they were a buyer's agent, and they can pick any listing on the MLS and send it to us, like me and you, Austin, and make sure that they get all of the correct forms that they need. So Chrissy, I just said, I think your homework is going to be that you have to fill out an actual purchase and sale agreement and any disclosures that come with the property, and either a buyer's representation. I think you should have to do a buyer's rep, just so you know. You don't always have to make your buyer sign one. I'm somebody who doesn't, but Austin is somebody who does. It's just a personal preference, and you can talk to Chris or any of us about why would I have my buyer sign one versus why not. And then we'll have you email them to us, and I'm actually going to send you an email with all of this so that you know what your instructions are. And then we can practice, what do you say in your email when you're sending it to the other agent, and what all do I include? Because in this instance, you don't need to send the agency disclosure brochure, and you don't need to send the buyer's rep agreement to the other agent. They don't need to know or see that. They will see that you've either marked that you're representing them or not, but they just need the disclosures and the purchase agreement, as well as a pre-qualification letter from the lender if they're using a loan. So that is a quick overview. So I guess your first steps would be, if you haven't already, make a Form Simplicity account and practice logging in. And then I will type up those homework instructions and send it to both Taylor and you, Chrissy. And I think we just onboarded a new agent in Twin Falls, so I may include her as well. I'll make her kind of hop in with you guys because she just got onboarded this week too. So anyways, do you have any questions, Chrissy or Austin? Anything else you want to say?
I'm actually going to be writing up a real offer for a client here in probably the next 20-30 minutes. Chrissy, if you would like, I'd be more than happy to keep a Zoom meeting going, or send another invite here when I fill it out, and walk you through exactly what I do and how to do it. All the way from getting the documents off the MLS, what documents I'll need, to sending the offer to the agent. Is that something that you got time for or be interested in?
I'm showing a house at 3:15, so I need to leave here by.
Well,
if you want to record it, that would be great. I can watch it later.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah. Let me call the client, see what he wants to offer, and then I'll just shoot you a quick call or a text.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Cool.
Hey guys, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording and I'll send this to everybody with an email. So Chrissy, you're invited to our Friendsgiving tonight if you can make it.
Yes, I'm so excited. Yes, I'll be there.
Okay. All right. I'll see you guys soon then for food.
All right.